Dennis, good to see you again. Good morning.
Thank you, Carl. Good to see you.
So everyone's sort of saying, what a remarkable pivot it was for Powell on the Hill. Where could the surprises come? Might it be in the dots later today? What do you think?
Well, I'm looking at the dots to give me a sense of where there might be rate moves in 2023. I think an interesting question is, are they getting themselves in a position to tap on the brakes, which might mean 1-2 rate rises in 2022, but then pause because they're going to be facing a balancing act between inflation and the employment objective in all likelihood. And I think there's a strong feeling they'd like to see the economy continue to produce employment gains, but not at the expense of unwanted inflation.
So do you think some of these forecasts that see 2 to 3 next year, followed by another 3 in 23, might be getting ahead of themselves?
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be based on the conditions that the committee faces and that the economy shows as we go along through 2022. If you were to reverse the film back a few months, clearly the committee wanted to let the economy continue to operate at almost maximum accommodation in order to get the employment gains possible, trying to get back to pre-COVID employment conditions. Now they don't have that option. So I think this is really going to be a balancing act as we go forward, and it'll be very interesting to watch. The tapering decision, which I agree with almost everyone who believes it's pretty much a sure thing today, the acceleration of tapering, is really to put them in a position where they have the option to do various things and have, one would think, several options given the conditions they face in the spring and summer of 2022.
What kind of grade do you give them on communicating not just that they were starting to think about tapering, but then announcing a taper, and now we think accelerating a taper? Has that been a smooth, seamless communication? Or, in retrospect, it's not too long ago we thought this thing was unthinkable to some.
Well, I think the first part of the communication, which was signaling that tapering was coming, was extremely well done. The market reaction was really quite modest, nothing very serious. And I think they did a masterful job of preparing the markets for that decision. But this decision that may come today, everyone expects it to come today, to accelerate, is just one meeting after the meeting in which they announced tapering. So they haven't really had a lot of time, and I have not picked up a great deal of signaling from real committee members. It's mostly been all of us who are outside that room who are talking about what the Fed is going to do. It's not really Fed officials who are giving a strong signal that that decision is a sure thing. And if I were to guess why they might not make that decision today, it could be simply because they haven't gotten to a consensus, and in many cases it takes more than one meeting to get to a consensus on a major policy move. I doubt that's going to happen, but that could happen.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.